baby, don't pull out that paper. Look at the chain around that neck. Look at that chain. Look at that chain. Yeah. Don't pull out the paper on them. Don't pull out the receipts.
To provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that Doge found across our government. This is a
I'm gonna start crying, y'all. Full transparency. You know, we've been left in the dark. We've been spit on. We've been lied to for so long. And now we got full transparency. The brutal, honest truth. I'm gonna start crying. Rick, why you crying, Rick? It's just so beautiful. Whew. Look at her necklace, y'all. Yeah. God bless them beautiful patriots around the world.
DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office.
It gets worse. Send them patriots back a refund, a reimbursement, something. Oh, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. People are not filing taxes this year, I tell you that. People are striking the IRS. They need to audit the IRS. We need to just shut it all down before April 15th.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey.
Why this beat so
We will make America proud again. And you try to kill our We will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
Boy, oh boy, what's going on, family? I couldn't wait to get into this with y'all, man. It's fun to get real. It's fun to get spicy. No more binders. No more lies. Just the brutal, honest truth. Shutting down reporters. Shutting down the lies. Oh, man. And even the CEO of Rumble is in the new media chair today in this briefing. Oh, man. We just keep winning. I know y'all been trying to get me on Rumble. I do got a Rumble now. I do have Rumble. Y'all know. I got some old reactions on there that got blocked on YouTube. You know, I'll tell you, they used to do me bad when I was reacting to music, man. Still love my music, man. Y'all know I'm a huge music lover and I love everything, man. All genres, all sports, every comedy. We had a lot of amazing reactions on this channel, man, and they did me bad with the copyright system. Boy. Some of those are on Rumble, if you go on my Rumble. But we might move some things to Rumble in the near future. Again, but the main base is over here on this platform. But we definitely will be looking into Rumble very, very soon and start getting content, more content flowing over there as well. But let's get into this, y'all. Miss Leavitt, she just gone in here to put her foot down. I'm here for it. No more big binder, you know. No more lies. No more didn't earn it. No more fake news. The brutal, honest truth. Here we go. Let's jump in.
This week, the president has continued to deliver on his promises to the American people. According to new polling that was released at the beginning of this week by CBS News, an overwhelming 70% of Americans said that President Trump is following through on what he pledged to do during his historic campaign. The poll also revealed that Americans see President Trump as a tough, energetic, focused, and effective leader fighting hard to improve their lives and our country.
And what the fake news say? We need his medical reports. We need his right leg. The man ain't been to sleep still. You know, same people that were they said he's as sharp as a tack, and he done went the other way, then dropped ice cream all on the floor. Don't know what he said. He done forgot the person name that he was introducing. He done said this president name instead of saying the president name he supposed to be introducing. Y'all seen the clips? Falling down, don't know where he's at. Ridiculous. And with Trump, they talking about, oh, he's unfit. We need his medical records. An absolute disgrace. The fella ain't been to sleep. You know, I'm loving these numbers, and I think these numbers are CBS just wanted to downplay it. Fake news. I think the numbers are way higher than this. I'm just saying. Let's continue. Oh boy, and she finna call out these corrupt judges trying to sabotage Trump.
Now, before I take questions, I would like to address an extremely dishonest narrative that we've seen emerging over the past few days. Many outlets in this room have been fear-mongering the American people into believing there is a constitutional crisis taking place here at the White House. I've been hearing those words a lot lately. But in fact, the real constitutional crisis is taking place within our judicial branch, where district court judges in liberal districts across the country are abusing their power to unilaterally block President Trump's basic executive authority. We believe these judges are acting as judicial activists rather than honest arbiters of the law. And they have issued at least 12 injunctions against this administration in the past 14 days, often without citing any evidence or grounds for their lawsuits. This is part of a larger concerted effort by Democrat activists and nothing more than the continuation of the weaponization of justice against President Trump. Quick news flash to these liberal judges who are supporting their obstructionist efforts. 77 million Americans voted to elect this president. And each injunction is an abuse of the rule of law and an attempt to thwart the will of the people. As the president clearly stated in the Oval Office yesterday, we will comply with the law in the courts, but we will also continue to seek every legal remedy to ultimately overturn these radical injunctions and ensure President Trump's policies can be enacted. I do believe it will come before the Prime Minister's visit tomorrow, and I will let the President discuss the details on the reciprocal tariff front. But this is something he believes strongly in, and it's very simple logic as to why the President wants to impose reciprocal tariffs. It's the golden rule, which we all learned when we were growing up in school. Treat others the way you want to be treated, and far too many nations around this world have been ripping off the United States of America for far too long, and that's why the President believes this will be a great policy that will benefit American workers and improve our national security.
Y'all, I really am. I'm enjoying this night and day difference, man. And I really am enjoying her pulling out these receipts. She's been pulling out these receipts for these past 2 weeks. They pulling out the paperwork. They just shutting down the lies, the fake news, these so-called reporters. Man, we are just Mike Tyson style. Oh. And it just, but it started crying. No more binder, the binder. They threw that binder out in the middle of the street, and them patriots ran over that binder. And they put that truck back in reverse and ran over the binder again. Yeah. And one of them patriots spit on the binder, took a match, and set it on fire.
As for the actual receipts, we are happy to provide them, and I actually brought some today because all of you know I love to bring the receipts. We have contracts upon contracts that we can send and provide this information to you. Let me be very clear. We are not trying to hide anything. We have been incredibly transparent, and we will continue to be. These are screenshots of contracts that DOJ found across our government. This is a DEI contract, $36,000 for U.S. citizenship and immigration services. That is against the president's policies and his America First agenda. This is a $3.4 million contract, a Council for Inclusive Innovation at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office, Department of Commerce, another DEI contract that DOJ identified. I can continue to go through these. Oh, I love this one. $57,000 for climate change in Sri Lanka. Oh. What is this doing to continue the interests of the American people? Man,
I'm telling you, Americans are hotter than fish grease, y'all. People, I'm telling you. I know y'all see all down my entire feed today, this past week, has been nothing but people talking about they're done paying the IRS. They're done. They want a refund. People are hotter than fish grease. People are saying this is exactly what we voted for. Like just scrolling on my For You page today. And it's everybody, man. Except for them crying, deranged, deranged, and Trump deranged individuals that went out and thought Kamala was the sharpest person in the room. But my time, bro, my algorithm has been nothing but pissed off Americans. It doesn't matter the skin color. I've seen everybody mad and hotter than fish grease, posting videos from their devices of what they of how they feel and how they reacting to this, everything that's coming out. I know y'all see the exact same things. It's all over the TikToks, the Facebooks, the Instagrams. Yeah, people are pissed. And everybody's praying that Trump shuts this. We just ought to shut this thing down before April 15th. Woo-wee. Shut it down.
Absolutely nothing. These are the line items across the federal government that DOJ is identifying daily. They're moving very fast. There's a lot of paper that we can show you, but we're happy to do it. This administration has been more than transparent about what DOJ is doing. And here's one of their tweets that they posted about the mine. I believe this is in Pennsylvania, where the federal employee retirement system is being processed. Did anybody know this was even happening in our country before Elon Musk talked about it in the Oval Office yesterday? A lot of Americans didn't. So we are providing transparency and accessibility on a daily basis when it comes to DOJ. And I also have a DOJ daily report, if anybody would like it, on all of the things that they are identifying and finding. We're happy to provide this information to you. We're talking about it every single day.
And then guess what? CNN don't take, they take a small piece of this clip, fake news, and they'll say, the Trump administration is not being transparent. They haven't showed us anything. The fake news. Fake news. Oh, I'm finna get excited. I'm finna get more excited. Look at you. And look at this. Look, y'all. Look who we finna make an example out of. Look who we finna embarrass and humiliate. Look who they ought to just walk this lady out the room. They ought to walk this activist out the room. Kaylin Collins, the CNN smug. They ought to walk this hack out the room. Oh, let's get it.
He consults with the President of the United States. So we're very confident with the ethics and the guardrails that have been put in place here. Caitlin.
Thanks, Caroline. I have a few things for you, but on the commitment by President Trump, he said that he and President Putin agreed to visit each other's respective nations. Are there any preconditions that President Trump has that President Putin must do before he goes and meets with him, withdrawing some forces, withdrawing all forces, anything like that?
Not that I'm aware of. That doesn't mean they don't exist, but I was just talking with the President in our national security team. I wasn't made aware of any conditions, but if they exist, I'm happy to provide those.
And on the President himself, he styles himself as this master negotiator. He is now deploying these negotiations, saying that they start immediately. We did hear from the Defense Secretary, Pete Hegseth, today saying that NATO membership is not realistic for Ukraine and neither is returning to pre-2014 borders. Aren't they giving away bargaining chips before these negotiations have even started?
Again, I haven't talked to the President about Ukraine's NATO membership, and he appointed several individuals to negotiate on his behalf. He's directly involved in these negotiations as well, and I'm sure if you ask him that question in the near future when you're able to, he'll give you an answer. I just don't want to get ahead of him on it.
And final thing for you, which White House official made the decision to bar the AP reporter from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room last night?
Well, first of all, let me just set the record straight. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. And nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. And there are hundreds of outlets on this campus, many of you in this room who don't have the privilege of being part of that pool every single day and getting to ask the President questions. We reserve the right to decide who gets to go into the Oval Office, and you all have credentials to be here, including the Associated Press, who is in this briefing room today.
But isn't it retaliatory in nature is the argument, because the reason that the AP was barred, which they said was because they're not using the phrase Gulf of America, they're using Gulf of Mexico in line with their standards. And so the question here is this setting a precedent that this White House will retaliate against reporters who don't use the language that you guys believe reporters should use? And how does that align with the First Amendment commitment that you were just talking about?
I was very upfront in my briefing on day one that if we feel that there are lies being pushed by outlets in this room, we are going to hold those lies accountable. And it is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. And I'm not sure why news outlets don't want to call it that, but that is what it is. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the geographical identification name server, and Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America, and it's very important to this administration that we get that right, not just for people here at home, but also for the rest of the world. Sure. Thank you, Caroline.
And now move on, please, and walk that lady. They ought to walk that lady out the room. Cause it is the Gulf of America. And oh boy, Karoline has a message to Mitch McConnell, who today again voted against another Trump cabinet nominee, Tulsi Gabbard. What a disgrace, man. You know, he should have been gone 20 years ago. They should have locked his back brakes on his wheelchair. He's in a wheelchair right now. Because he's I don't know how many times in a month he has fallen down. The man has had a stroke. I mean, the man is just can't even understand the fella. Should be term limit laws. Should have been gone 20 years ago. It's a disgrace what we've seen take place, man. And they should have just locked his back brakes. We don't even need him to vote. Just lock his back brakes and let him just sit there. Disgrace. But Karoline has a message for Mitch McConnell. Let's check it out.
Not only Tulsi Gabbard, but also Pete Hegseth to be the defense secretary.
I think we're greatly disappointed in any Republican who chooses willfully to vote against the president's exceptionally qualified cabinet nominees and picks to lead his America First administration. Not a single Democrat swayed from voting against President Biden's nominees, and we know how many of them turned out. They turned out to be atrocious at their jobs, leaving America much worse than they were when they took the oath of office. And so I've said it repeatedly from this podium. I addressed it at the beginning of my remarks. We expect all Republicans to vote, to stay tough and strong, vote for President Trump's nominees so we can get to work and continue to work very hard to implement this president's agenda.
Not only